What if we could play as Fallen in Destiny 2? Well, ever since Season 14, Season of the Splicer, we've made allies with the House of Light, which are a group of Elixni, and they've been living with us in the tower ever since. Well, now that they're living with us in the tower, it would be really cool if we would be able to play as Fallen. It would also be really cool if Fallen could get their very own intro mission. Now, since they aren't really Guardians, their intro mission would be entirely different compared to the regular Guardian intro mission. Now, when I say it'd be cool if we could play as Fallen, I'm just not talking about being able to play as Fallen as the race, but I'm saying it'd be cool if we could play as Fallen with their entirely own separate class to play as. With Titans, Hunters, and Warlocks, it'd be cool if we could add Fallen onto the list. Now, with this happening, it would also make sense if Fallen could get their very own abilities separate from each other classes, and their very own supers too. In the Beyondlight DLC, we've seen a couple of Fallen wielding stasis, and that stasis could be a perfect example of one of the subclasses that the Fallen could have as a super. But what about the other subclasses, like Arc, Solar, or Void? From what I've seen, I've never seen any Elixni using Arc, Solar, or Void other than inside of their weapons. So how would that work in their abilities or super abilities if they were their own class? Well, then maybe rather than actually wielding the light from within, they could pull out a special weapon that is really powerful, which can be used as one of their super abilities. Kind of like how Hunters use Golden Gun or Arc Staff, except just an actual weapon, not really used from light within themselves. Each class has their own specific movement type, with Titans being able to activate Lift, which is technically being able to fly, Hunters being able to jump multiple times in the air, and Warlocks being able to glide. I can see the Elixni having teleportation. This is because we've seen Fallen Captains using teleportation a lot, so it would make sense if this was their primary movement type. Besides, I couldn't really think of anything else this would be. Now that we've talked about class movement, let's talk about class abilities. Each class has their own specific abilities. Warlocks have rifts, Titans have barricades, and Hunters can dodge. Well, I can see the Elixni ability being when they pull out some type of device which will give them a slight damage buff. And this can be used anywhere, so they can walk around with this damage buff, and I can see this lasting for 10 to 15 seconds. Let's talk about class items. The Elixni class item could be a scarf. Now, this is because almost every single Fallen enemy type wears some type of piece of cloth around their neck. Now, I know this is a little similar to the Hunter cloaks, but it really makes sense, because if you look at it very closely, a lot of Fallen wear scarves around their necks. Could this actually work, though? I think that if Bungie took enough time with it, then this would definitely be very possible to do. I think it'd be a very fun thing that they could add to the game, and would just be an overall different and unique idea that we would have in the game. What about the Cabal? Will we be able to play as them? Because ever since Season 13, we've made allies with the group of Cabal, just like we did with the Fallen. Well, I can maybe see this happening, but I just feel like Elixni would probably happen more likely than being able to play as Cabal in the game. As for the Vex or Taken, I definitely don't see this happening with them, as I don't see any real reason why we would even be able to play as Vex, Taken, or even Scorn, because we haven't made any allies with them, and I don't see this happening in the future as well. But what about Hive? With the launch of the Witchqueen campaign, we've seen Hive Guardians with their very own ghosts and are able to wield the light just like us regular Guardians are able to. Do you think we'd be able to play as Hive Guardians? While I can definitely see this being doable, I don't think so. 'Cause I just don't really see us being able to play as one, and I just feel like it wouldn't really fit in, just being able to see a giant Hive Guardian wandering around in the tower. But again, being able to play as an entirely new alien race that we've been fighting for the longest time ever would definitely change up the intro campaign mission that we would normally have, because it just wouldn't make sense if we had the regular one. I would see the newer intro campaign mission taking place on Europa during Beyond Light, where we need to run away from Aramis after she's been going crazy with stasis. And then after fighting our way through a couple of enemy fallen, we then come across a guardian who offers us protection in the tower, and we soon fight along side by side with them from there on. But overall, if this is to happen, I definitely hope that Bungie will get really creative with this, and I just really think it'd be super cool that this could happen. But overall, do I actually really think this will happen? No, it probably won't, but you never know. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this will happen? And what ideas do you have on Fallen being able to be playable in the game? Tell me in the comment section down below. And feel free to subscribe, and don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.